Hi, I'm Granny, and we're going down the rabbit hole of Dina Sanichar, Wolf Boy and brain development. There was a recent news report of an 8-year-old boy getting lost while exploring an area near his home. He was found 14 miles away. His name, Tinatanda Pudo, hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, was found alive 5 days later, surrounded by a variety of predatory animals, including 40 lions in a Zimbabwe game park. The boy survived by practicing techniques he was taught at home, which were how to forage for roots and berries and how to dig a hole and drink from the water that filled it. The article referenced the similarities of Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book and Mowgli with Tina Tenda. Anyway, in 1867, hunters in India discovered something straight out of that storybook: a boy living among wolves. He crawled on all fours, snarled, and when found, refused to leave his wolf family. When the hunters tried to take Dina from his pack, the wolves didn't let him go without a fight. They snarled and attacked, defending him as if he was one of their own. For Dina, this was his family. The wolves had raised and protected him. The love and loyalty they showed made people question whether taking him away was really a good or right thing to do. He was then taken to an orphanage. This poor, confused, wild child, later named Dina Sanichar, had spent years surviving as part of the wolf pack. His life was an extraordinary tale of survival and adaptation that made people wonder whether he was more human or a wolf because of his behaviors. Dina didn't just live with the wolves, he became one of them, crawling on all fours, eating raw meat, and howling to communicate. He adopted their way of life completely. Rudyard Kipling's Mowgli was cheerful, had wonderful adventures, developing wonderful friendships with other creatures in the forest, and it is believed that Kipling fashioned Mowgli after Dina in the Jungle Book. So in contrast, Dina's experience in the wild was all about survival. Watching how he moved, his instincts, he developed such wolf-like behavior that many people forgot that he was human at all. His bond with the pack was proof of nature's power to shape us. Nature, nurture. When offered cooked meals, Dina refused, preferring raw meat. The caregivers tried to change his diet, give him clothes to wear, but his wolf's instincts were too strong. Dina never learned to speak, though his caregivers tried. He communicated only through gestures, howls, and growls. Dina preferred crawling rather than walking upright. He couldn't form bonds. He never did form bonds with a human. All efforts to help him adapt to the human world failed completely. It was recorded that Dina's senses were wolf-like, stating he could detect danger long before anyone else. He had sharp reflexes and acute hearing. Dina's life was isolated, darker, and lonely. No matter how hard people tried to help him, there appears to be a thin line between humanity and the animal kingdom. Though humans rescued him, Dina never was treated as an equal. It appears the doctors and caretakers treated him more of an object of curiosity. And in contrast, his wolf family had accepted him, protected him, and was raising him as their own. The caregivers tried to acclimate Dina to the human world, but the wolf inside never faded. He crawled, growled, and preferred the wilderness to the comforts of civilization. His story shows how deeply nurture shapes us. Dina remained wild until the end. His life, after being rescued from the wolves, wasn't a happy one. He spent his days in an orphanage, misunderstood, studied like a specimen. He died at age 35, estimated, of tuberculosis. Horrible disease. Dina wasn't alone. In the 1880s, other children were found living among animals in India, including wolves, monkeys, even leopards. His tale stood out not only as very famous, but very tragic. When I was studying child development while finishing my bachelor's, the instructor simplified brain development by showing a child's picture of a house with many windows. She then explained that each window in the drawing represented parts of the brain dealing with hearing, seeing, feeling, touch, speech, music, math, language, etc. She stated that it was essential for children, especially infants, to be exposed to these life skills within the first several years of life. Otherwise, it was as if those windows never existed. Understanding brain development is important for all parents to understand, and maybe use Dina's story as a cautionary tale showing the price of those closing windows. Thanks for spending this time with me. Please join me again when Granny goes down the rabbit hole. Please subscribe and share. Thank you.